ready for another great show. Why are you laughing, Jamie? Already you're laughing.
You're pumping me up, man.
I love this music. I love the theme. It gets me going. I swear. Episode 5 of The Bro Show. I'm Greg T. That's Jamie. What's up, bro?
What's up, Greg?
So tell us, what are we doing on today's show?
Now today we have John V from Adapting Social, who does all of my digital advertising, and we have Sean Grevy, 43 Oak, who does all of my traditional advertising, which is like billboards, streaming television, radio, TV, all different types of traditional methods of advertising. And one of the things in business that's really important is your revenue, right? So without sales, you don't have a business. And a lot of business owners who are not privy to marketing or utilizing resources that are out there who want to increase their sales, they don't know what to do. I thought this episode could be helpful, right? Like, I'm sharing some of the people I work with. I'm sharing some of the stories that I've had and successes I've had, and we'll all probably get into some failures too, because it's part of business, part of life. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. You know, I think it's going to be a banger, and I'm super pumped to share and to just get on with this show, man. It's going to be great.
I so appreciate it because, listen, for myself, who's literally just starting a business, I think I'll be able to take a lot of information, a lot of, you know, what they've already gone through and what they've done to establish themselves already in the business. So I'm looking forward to sitting down talking to them without a doubt. Now, a couple things I want to talk to you about, though. Eat Clean Bro. What do you visit your own stores to give away free samples of Eat Clean Bro?
Yeah, so I've been working with like ShopRite, Fairway
Congratulations.
Market, Gourmet Garage. Yeah, thank you so much, man. It took took years to get in there. A lot of grit, a lot of tenacity, and also a very good product.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know me, man. I love getting in front of people, spreading the word of the bro.
And sometimes you got your family out there. I see the kids out there with you having fun.
Yeah. So my wife sometimes, like on the weekend, she'll bring the kids to these things, and it's just
it's a family affair.
It's a family affair,
It is.
I love when my kids get to see me working. You know, it's like the most beautiful thing ever.
But don't you think like you really can build a much more successful business if everybody's on board, if everybody's a part of it, if it's coming from the family and you have the family backing? It's going to go so much further. I think that you need to have that support.
You have to have the support.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
You also got a big golf outing coming up. Tell me about the golf outing.
Oh, dude, yeah. Me and Troy, local lender. The wives are all in on it too.
Are you a good golfer?
I could drive the ball pretty far.
Okay.
Get some what the hell are those drinks called? Those transfusions going.
Oh my God. Who doesn't love a transfusion?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, you cannot have a golf outing without transfusion.
Yeah. So I swore, because I got annihilated last year, and I was like, you know what? I think I did like 3 shots. That's like back to back to back. That's like when I want to get going, I'll do that. I also did that at Todd Frazier's beer pong tournament. I'm like, I shouldn't have done that.
Speaking of, isn't he going to be one of our guests soon?
Yeah, we're going to have Todd Frazier and Eric LeGrand.
Cool.
Just some homegrown Rutgers guys.
Awesome. So when is the golf outing?
I think it's August 4th.
All right.
It's going to be hot as hell. But
yeah, it is.
It's going to be a great day. The events, I mean, dude, the gala, we're working on the gingerbread house party. I mean, these are handpicked. Listen, the tickets will go on sale. It will sell out very fast. The people that want to be there know it's going to sell out. They're not going to procrastinate and wait. So yeah, last year I think we sold out in 4 days. So like this year will probably be 2 days because the people that missed out and then whatever. So, and
we're talking about it here on the Bro Show.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, every hole, there's something at every hole.
Right.
So it's a really great time.
And it's at the Trump in Colts Neck?
Yeah, it's at the Trump in Colts Neck. It's local show.
Yep, that's
it's
great.
for the Children's Specialized Hospital. We just
we just do a check. You did something there, right?
So
recently.
we raised this last the gala we did $235,000,
dude,
with a total of $602,000 for the children. So
what's that feel? What do you feel like when you write a check like that? You know, to somebody that needs it.
It feels really like this is something I should be doing. It doesn't feel like my whole thing is millionaires that do nothing for anyone but themselves should be ashamed of themselves. Like, I'm blessed. I have a great life. We do it. You know what? My wife puts a tremendous amount of effort. My wife is a brilliant person, and she's Forbes 30 under 30. She's incredibly useful to my organization, but most of her time now is to like charitable efforts. And I hope that like, look, dude, in the day of AI, the day of private equity, the day of all this shit where people are only performing for the profit, like I hope people pay attention. Like, hey, like, you know, with the way the future is, with the way funding is, with the way all of these private equity, venture capital, all these companies that are just backed by other people's money and just cuts them out for Eat Clean Bro, you know, get a couple meals here and there and just support. And, you know, we're throwing it back in the community every chance we get. I'm constantly trying to help people. I'm constantly giving back, taking time out of my day to mentor many business owners, helping people stay ahead. And
you continue to do it through this podcast. Because when you're bringing in your own guests all the time, the guys that, have come up with you, whatever, you're giving a lot of great information, that little tidbits that people can take, and I think so.
And that's exactly what today is for.
Yeah.
So today is for, I've spent millions in advertising, millions, tens of millions.
Listen, I can only imagine.
Yeah. So,
but you did it the right way. Those billboards, man, they captivated people. Eat clean, bro. Three words that spoke volumes. Eat clean, bro.
I got written up. I mean, they call me an intrigue marketing genius, which that was a beautiful intrigue marketing campaign. Intrigue marketing. So, well,
let's get on with it. I'm really excited to meet these guys, and I'm gonna sit here like a student, and I'm gonna sit there and take my notes.
Hell yeah!
I got my pad of paper ready to go. I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
I am ready to go. Let's bring them on. Hey guys, listen, we'll be right back with our guests, with Sean and John, and of course Jamie and myself right after this. Eat Clean Bro. They deliver fresh, healthy, chef-prepared meals right to your door. So whether you're into bodybuilding or weight loss or just trying to eat better without the hassle of cooking, Eat Clean Bro has got a ton of options for you. Gluten-free options, high-protein options, chicken parm with sweet potato mash, buffalo chicken, mac and cheese, turkey meatballs and pasta, teriyaki salmon with jasmine rice, and Eat Clean Bro delivers within 24 hours in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania area. So if you're looking to try it out or you want help picking some meals that match your goals, head over to eatcleanbro.com right now. Eat Clean Bro. That's where to go.
Where to go.
All right, guys, so we are back, episode 5, and this one is going to be just like all the other ones. Incredible. Jamie, introduce our guest today.
So we got my boy here, Sean Grevy from 43 Oak, who's been essentially my traditional advertising agent. Obviously, you guys know I do billboards. I did radio back with you, Greg.
Yep.
I did all my traditional stuff through Sean. We got my boy Johnny V here from Adapting Social. He's my digital agency. He runs all my digital ads. People have been seeing my Facebook ads a lot. They manage my Facebook, Google, my SMS, which is text message campaigns, my email campaigns. I introduced these two. They do a lot of business together, and we take a multifaceted approach for a lot of my friends. Like I wanted to touch on this episode, like how do you approach marketing or how, like, because a lot of times there's not a whole lot of money left over.
Right.
People are scared. They don't want to make mistakes, and every business is different. So, we'll get into the do's and don'ts of marketing. We'll get into some funny Jersey stuff, and we'll just chop it up like we always do.
I have a funny feeling that I'm going to learn a lot from this. I really am. I think this is great because I'm involved in digital, right? And I'd love to tap in and find out a little bit more about billboards as well. So I'm excited to interview both of you guys.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming. We got some big topics to cover. First and foremost, Sean, as a Philly guy, does Central Jersey exist?
There's really just Taylor ham.
You had to
pork roll. So
wow.
no, the answer is no.
On that.
The answer is no.
Wow.
The answer is no.
Fucking piece of shit.
But how do you figure?
Because there's Taylor ham and there's pork roll. Tell me who sits in between.
What do you
guys
mean?
are just like, I love it and I respect you from being from that place, but it just, there's a divide, and it seems like when I'm in Central Jersey, no one really knows.
So Netflix is going to be in South Jersey. Is that what the fuck you guys think?
It's
I think so.
It's just debatable who's watching it, right? I mean, if somebody from up top is watching it, it's from North Jersey.
Yeah.
If they're watching it from Camden County, then it's probably South Jersey.
Bro, the Philly people are coming off a really big Super Bowl win. They made it look easy, and they're just fucking their heads in the clouds.
Listen,
bro.
I gotta be honest with you.
Their fucking heads are in the clouds.
When you're from Philadelphia proper,
Yes.
not Philly, like I live in the suburbs and I tell people I'm from Philly. I grew up in Philly, real Philadelphia. There is no, we just look at Jersey as Jersey. Like, it's Jersey. It's not like people from Jersey are like, I'm from Philly. No, you're from Camden.
I got fraternity brothers like that.
Nah, you're from Haddonfield. You live in Cherry Hill, bro.
Right.
You're not from Philadelphia.
Hey,
Cherry Hill's Philly. Cherry Hill's Philly.
I gotta tell you,
that's like being from like Brooklyn, or that's like being from like I don't know, Yonkers, and being like, I'm from Brooklyn. Like, it's not the same
That is
thing,
kind of
bro.
funny, though, Jamie, that he said Cherry Hill, because I really do. I actually think sometimes if you're from Cherry Hill, if you're from that area, like you're Philadelphia.
Well,
you're
people
Philly.
associate it.
Yeah, I don't know
You're
why.
like,
But the truth is, but I'll finish the answer. Yes, I do think there's a Central Jersey to me, because I don't really care either way. Like, I think people from Jersey care, because South Jersey would be like, oh, like I'm from like Wildwood and I'm from South Jersey. But then they're confused because people from like Cherry Hill think they're South Jersey, but then you got the Wildwood people who are like, I'm from South Jersey. Which one is it? Because then, so then you get up north and it's like,
it's
okay.
the most southern part of New Jersey.
Exactly. But I don't care. Call it Central Jersey. It does make sense. I mean, if you think about it, it is in the middle of the state. I mean, why can't it be? We have North Philly, West Philly, South Philly, Northeast Philly. Like, Who am I to tell you can't have a Central Jersey? It's not my place.
Yeah.
I'm not from Jersey.
All right.
Just saying.
So John,
Anyway,
born and raised, man. You're an Ocean County guy, right?
I'm an Ocean County guy, yeah.
All right. So tell me,
Central
'cause-
Jersey all day.
Central Jersey all day.
All day.
of course you're
And
gonna
the
say
thing
that you're
is,
from there.
I would
That's what I
say
mean. I'm
like
from it.
the beginning of South Jersey, right? Like there's the Pine Barrens, which are vast. That has to be the beginning.
Do you know
like,
what-
it's so hard to see like where does South Jersey start? Because like for me, like if you look at where I'm from, Lawrence Harbor, Old Bridge, Middlesex County, if you put a dot on the coast and you go directly into the middle of New Jersey, you will see that is Lawrence Harbor, dead center. And then Freehold's even more dead center. So the two places I grew up with are legitimately in the most center point of the state.
Right.
So I'm like, what the fuck do you mean Central Jersey doesn't exist, dude? I lived in I went to Montclair State. There's a gigantic difference between North Jersey and then when you go south, I've been south. Dude, there's
Right.
a gigantic difference in South Jersey.
Mhm.
Central Jersey has its own identity.
Right.
What's Trenton?
You know, we need a map. For
No,
real.
seriously.
We
What's
do.
Trenton? I want to know.
we
What's
should have a map.
What's
so
Trenton?
it is. It
This
would
is a good
technically
question.
be. It would technically be central.
Central
because-
Jersey, right?
Yeah, because it's Mercer County, and it's technically
But see how there's
although-
confusion, right? You're not
because
really...
the west part of the state is not the same as the east part of the state. It's really not.
So I'm from North Jersey.
Oh, you're from.
So
North Jersey.
again, I'm Portuguese. My dad and his family came off the boat from Portugal
Yeah.
to Newark, New Jersey, the Ironbound section.
Gotcha.
Great food.
Mhm.
So when I lived up North Jersey, and then we
Don
moved,
Peps.
right when we moved down the shore, that's what it was considered, right? Like we like even in North Jersey, it wasn't like, oh, we're going South Jersey, we're going to the shore, right? It's like most people up there, I feel like have the same POV where it's like, okay, you're pretty close to New York, you're up there in top of Jersey, but when you look at the central part of Jersey, at the end of the day, back to your point, I mean, who really gives a shit at the end of the day?
Oh
right?
no, we give a shit
But
All right.
why?
This is a hot button for Jamie. It's a hot
I
button.
know.
because my property taxes are so fucking high. You're not
Here
going
we
to tell me
go.
I'm in South Jersey.
Here we go. You know what we need? You know
True,
what, really?
true.
We need buttons, red buttons that are
Alright.
Jamie's hot buttons.
Alright,
So
alright.
we know that we don't even push him
All right,
near it.
so
That's
John,
it.
you're Portuguese.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, man, I love seafood. And when I was in
Mhm.
Spain, I did not get to go to Portugal, but bro, when I was in Spain, I think I ate paella, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, seafood paella, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they're like, oh, it's going to take some time. I'm like, dude, I'm
Load it up.
going to eat as much seafood paella as humanly possible. And I did. And I got iodine poisoning. No, I'm joking.
Mercury poisoning.
Yeah. So tell me about some of that Portuguese food, man, and some fucking banging Portuguese restaurants in Newark.
So there's a lot of good ones. But have you ever had it's called, the Portuguese way you say it is bacalhau, which is essentially codfish that's made and you boil it in salt and you put potatoes in there. And then once it's ready and it's just tender enough, you take it out, you put a nice little olive oil on it. My avó, which is grandma in Portuguese, she'll do a little salt on it after with the olive oil, and it's delicious. It's simple to make,
It's a
but
potato?
yeah,
That sounds
the
Irish.
potatoes and the
No?
and the fish.
I just started taking cod liver oil again,
Mm.
and they didn't have. I usually get like the lemon flavored one.
What's
Bro,
it do for you?
Oh my god, dude! For like,
Do you
there's
take fish oil on top of that, or that's separate?
no, this is all the fish oil you need, bro. Believe
Cod
me.
liver oil.
Yeah, Norwegian cod liver oil. It's anti-inflammatory. It's got antioxidants. Got vitamin D, vitamin A. It also, it's like I don't know if I talked about it. I have like a gene mutation with
Yeah, you told
for
me.
blood clots.
Mhm.
It like 30% of the population have it, so it's not super rare, but it helps thin your blood, which is good for me.
Jamie donates blood. Shout out to that.
Yeah,
Give
yeah.
it back.
Yeah, people should pay extra for my blood. It's
What do you got? You got you have the special one? O?
Are you
No,
O positive or
I'm-
negative?
I'm A positive, but my
Oh.
shit's tiger blood, dude. Top tier. Top tier. So
I'm O. I get those phone calls all the time. Whenever they need like blood, they're always
are
calling
you
my
O
house.
negative?
Yeah, so I'm.
Oh, you're the
I'm-
universal donor.
That's right. I'm the
Yeah.
universal donor. Yeah, that's
Wow.
what I have.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to donate your
So
blood.
they call all the time, and
Moral
I'm like,
obligation.
yeah, and I'm like, please, I'm like, miss, I can't do it again. I can't do it again. Or they really always want my blood all the time.
I live in New Jersey. They're
Yeah.
already sucking out my blood.
They're taking everything from me. I'm O positive.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
but still, O positive is still good though.
Is
Yeah.
it?
I'm
well,
embarrassed to say I don't know what my blood type is.
Really, you got to
Swear
find
God,
out, bro.
I
You
have
need to
no
know.
idea. How do I not know that?
Have you ever donated?
Yeah.
You might
Long
be
time
one of
ago.
those universal blood donors.
Yeah.
We need you.
I've donated. Probably it's been a while.
I want to send the phone calls to
Every
your
time
house.
Yeah,
every time I
reroute them.
Yeah, right.
every time I
can't
step
do
on
it.
the ice to play hockey, I donate blood.
Oh,
I, just
man.
don't know I just don't know what the type is, you know?
Are you still running the hockey league?
Yeah, the 43 Oak Foundation.
You are still running that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's great, man. Good for you.
yeah, so fill us in, Greg. He's taking underprivileged kids and getting them on the ice.
Yeah, I think that's really amazing. I really that's
Yeah.
and, like I haven't seen him in a long time, but that's what I really remember that he was
Yeah.
doing. And I didn't know that you still had the passion for it.
Yeah, he
swear to
takes
God.
inner city
Tremendous.
kids, underprivileged kids, and he gets them on the ice. He's got big sponsors, right? You got UBS.
UBS Wealth
Um,
Management, the New
wow,
York
congrats.
Islanders. Yeah, we're partners with
yeah.
the New York Islanders.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, they did a 5-year deal with us, partnership. They gave us $1 million, and it's gone a long way because every kid in our program costs anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 a year on average for us to help
Yeah.
financially support.
Right, of
Now,
course.
not every kid needs financial support. Some need mentorship.
Yeah.
But you got to imagine hockey is like, look at a bridge. There's one side and there's the other, and then the bridge is collapsed. The only people who can get over that bridge are people in the helicopter.
Wow.
Right? You can't. If you want to play Tier 1 AAA hockey,
Sure.
eventually play D1, play pro, whatever, you can't get to this point unless you have financial backing. On top of that, you need to know people. It's not just money. So we provide all those things because obviously, like, our board is full of NHL alumni. They're all my friends. Like, if we would need to step in and help a kid get on a team, it's not. We don't ask somebody to put him on a team because he's not good enough.
Right.
It's take a look at the kid for real. There's 400 kids trying out for a roster of 20.
Right.
I want you to look at this kid. If he's good enough and he needs help, we'll financially support him too. There's no reason, no excuse for you not to take this hockey player if he's good enough.
That's great.
That's all we
Oh, it's
ask.
good. Yeah, and I was sending meals to some kids too. So
Yeah.
I love seeing people help each other.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I think it's wonderful, and it does take, there are a lot of underprivileged children that really need that help, and if you could be one of those people, then hats off. I think it's great. Like I said, I didn't know that you kept up with it, and I think it's fantastic that you do.
Yeah,
Good for
I
you,
mean,
bro.
at the end of the day, look, when you look at hockey, there's guys that don't have the money
Yeah.
have to do other things to get into that position, right? Myself, I didn't have money growing up. Now, I'm not a minority, but I definitely didn't have money playing the
Sure,
sport.
sure.
I had to do things I didn't want to do. I wasn't privileged enough to be on the first line because my dad knew the coach, his son, whatever. I had to fight. I had to throw my body around at 5'9". I had to go. Well, not even then. When I was 14, forget it. I was at 115 pounds. I'm going out there trying to hit guys that are 6'4". But I was doing it because I knew that I would make a noticeable. People would look at me. They say this guy can do it. But I don't want to do that. I wanted to go out and score goals, but I
Right.
couldn't go out and score goals. I don't want my kids to get labeled the second they step on the ice as, oh, this kid's from the inner city. He can fight. Let's put him on the ice, put him on the fourth line, make him get 5 minutes a game, and now he's got to fight. No, he's good enough to go put the puck in the net. Give him a real chance to play the sport. And that's where we step in, because if we see it happening, we call the coach. We say, what are you doing? What does this kid need to get better? I'll do it. I'll pay for the training. I'll get him there and put him
I think week after week, we always have guests on. It seems like that seems to be the narrative, fighting and pushing to get where you want to get to in life, no matter what, whether it's hockey or business.
This is not Christmas morning. Santa Claus did not come and drop presents off under the
Nope.
tree. Like, you have to go out and get those presents for yourself.
Yep.
But yo, that's why also I hate when people say that when you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life. Because like for somebody like myself, like who started when I was in high school at 17, my family almost lost the house. I started this business trying to help my family not foreclose on their house in 08. And literally, like, since I started it, even till today, 17 years in, I've fought my ass off day in and day out, like, to keep my dream, right? I'm not saying it's not great and I don't love it, because I do love it. But that's my point, is it's not sunshine and rainbows. And it does build character for the guys that aren't getting those shots. Like, it builds fucking character. If you're somebody who's a badass, you're going to get up and you're going to find a way to make it work. You don't have the money, you're going to find a way. I'm not saying them particularly, I'm just saying in general.
No, yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, you could sit there and you could be like, damn, life isn't handing me the cards that I fucking want. Why is my dad this? Why is this happening? Why don't I have any money? Or why is, I'm not smart enough for school or whatever. And it's like, ultimately, at the end of the day, you could just get up and go do something. Like with me, like similar, to what you're saying with these kids, like what I like to do is I go back to like my local high school every year. And I talk to these, to these kids that are in the business classes and stuff. And a lot of them just take it because it's an elective they don't give a shit about. They just want to sleep in the class. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, you could do something with your life. If you start right now, you have a head start, right? And ultimately, it's like, I didn't go to college, right? I was in all remedial classes
Wait, I read
growing
that
up.
you went to Harvard.
Right. Well,
No, I saw a couple
thought it was
places where you're
Princeton.
like, I tell people I went to Harvard, but I didn't go to Harvard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I saw that.
I visited the campus one time.
Yeah.
And I got a hat, and everyone's like, "Yo, you went to Harvard?" I was like, "Yeah, I went."
That's
But
it.
did I go? I
I
don't know.
saw one of your Instagram videos where like I tell people I went to Harvard, I didn't go to Harvard. That's great.
But at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to say is like, that's why for the kids that are young out there now, it's like, dude, like people, when you look at anybody in this room's story, like everybody had to fight and claw, and they got shit that happened, whether it's fucking, people delaying construction wherever you are, or, not having money or whatever the case is. It's the character building components you don't realize in that moment that are making you strong as fuck. Like the reason why I think like, if everything turned around for everybody in this room, if all of our businesses just failed out of nowhere, everybody in this room would be okay, because we got there and we know how to get back. And I think that's the key. We know how miserable and you need to be.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was my 2022 where I felt
Right.
like everything and I was like, oh, I hate this. And I played the hand. I played the hand I got like it was the hand I wanted. I was the most charitable I ever was. I broke 2 calendar years or whatever, however it worked. We raised like $600,000 for the Children's Specialized Hospital.
It's a lot.
Well, during that time was like the most, we all do business together, so you guys know. But yeah, it was a really tough time for me. My favorite thing is they say the bison is the only animal that marches into the storm. So the bison knows that if instead of all the other animals run away from the storm, and that like prolongs the storm, whereas if you just march into it, it's shorter actually. It's less
Right.
time in the storm if you just march head forward. So that's like the takeaway with life, and it's really beautiful that you get to show these kids like if they really want to play hockey, that like you're there to help them and give them that hand, because everyone there's obviously a chip on everyone's shoulder, and like but what the truth is like we all did get a little bit of help from people here and there, and,
Totally.
and God or whoever throws some gems left and right and some nuggets and some crumbs along the trail to keep you alive, and just staying grateful, giving back, doing all the good stuff, and that it's important. Now we're here because I wanted to talk about advertising, marketing. I wanted to talk about business, right? The highest grossing profession is sales. People in the sales industry, right? Sales is one of the most important metrics, right? Revenue is one of the most important metrics in business. Without sales, there is no business.
Yep.
So I've been buying billboards from Sean, doing all my traditional, you're my digital agency, do the tech, the SMS, the email marketing, all that stuff. I wanted to get into the nuts and bolts of like, what is the best use of capital for a business when they're thinking like, hey, I'm a $2 million a year business. I have fucking 10 grand a month to deploy. Where am I breaking that up? Am I putting it into billboards? Because one of the biggest nightmares I ever hear, because I know a thing or two about buying billboards now, when they're like, yeah, I bought one billboard and it didn't work. When I hear people say that, I'm like, well, you fucking lit your money on fire. Right. That's not how you approach traditional.
You mastered the billboard.
Well, it's not really about it. Yeah, I did master it. I mastered it on accident, but also in traditional, you have to hammer the fuck out of it. And until you have the money to hammer it, don't hammer it.
Totally.
Like I tell my landscaper, Nick Bauman, I say, Nick, you might want to look into mailers and you might want to hit this specific zip code, because for $6,000, you can have a route that's specifically geared towards the customers that you want.
Right.
They have the house, they live in the house, they're in the neighborhood. My buddy Carmen, who has Anchor Pest Control, dude, Devin LeVake had me on this call with these kids in Utah. They do door to door. They do door knockers. Some of these kids are like 23, 24 years old, making $1 million a year.
Get out.
On, I know, bro. They're like doing food reviews in their car, getting $1 million a year.
Come on, bro.
But basically, where I'm getting at this is like some businesses, right? Like for me, I do business in 27 states. So one specific zip code, that's where a billboard would be more useful for me. Like, hey, if you're driving on the New Jersey Turnpike, there's a 98% chance I could fucking get you some meals.
Right.
So that's a great idea for me, right?
Totally.
I got a call to action. I got an innovative, intriguing campaign. Now I'm backing that up with some organic direct search with a fucking intro offer. So I'm using the traditional and the digital together on Google. I'm deploying a large amount of capital to do that, but that works for me. Now a $2 million a year, say a $2 million a year chiropractor, maybe he wants to get some influencers in the building, work with some local people, get some content, pump it in the 3-mile radius of his thing. So why don't we just take it away with what the injury attorneys are doing right now, bro? Because I'm seeing them all over.
And they're
take
on
it away,
billboards
yo.
everywhere.
And dude, one thing about the economy. So like when me and Sean were going to buy Massachusetts, and obviously I trust Sean, I've been doing business for a long time, but sometimes I know what's going to come out of his mouth. So a perfect example was I was in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta during the Super Bowl, and I saw signs in Atlanta where it was like billboards were available. And Sean's like, well, the Rep National, but I go, Sean, listen, it's Super Bowl weekend and there's open boards. I said, fucking crush them. He did. He went back. We got a great fucking rate.
Yep.
Now I'm driving around in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm noticing, fuck, Rolex. I'm like, they're not going to budge. I mean, it's fucking Rolex. Like there's certain buyers, right? So if there's signs are open, you're in a city, Super Bowl weekend, and there's billboards open, that means inventory is fucking, there's a lot of inventory. A lot of inventory means negotiable. You could negotiate down, and then you could negotiate down, and then you could term it out. So it's like, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I got a 5-year lease. Listen, I want these billboards for 5 years. I'll pay this. Lock me into cost. And then because the billboard companies don't want any empty boards,
Sure.
they'd rather take something.
Is that why they lock you in so long?
You could lock in long. I still have a billboard up in Atlanta I haven't paid for in like fucking 6 years.
Jesus.
Yeah, but the
Wow.
fucking Super Bowl in Atlanta by
It's
the
still up right now.
by the airport. Yeah, it's still
Still
like
up,
people
yeah.
still send me pictures of it. I'm like, bro, I haven't paid for that motherfucker in like 5 years,
Well,
right?
there's a reason for that.
Sean, how'd
Yeah.
you get into,
Oh, there's a
into
reason for that.
billboards?
There is for real though.
How'd you get
know?
into billboards?
Better
Yeah,
call Sean.
Let's talk about billboards.
Yeah, right. Yeah, when I left radio, I started my agency. You know, I knew some people in the out of home industry, and obviously I had to diversify outside of radio, TV, billboards, everything. We were consulting for our clients on
Right.
everything they buy, not just radio at that point. And I had a lot of radio clients that were buying billboards. Hey, Sean, can you help me out? Well, of course, but let me figure out, the ins and outs. And I trusted the experts, and they schooled me on everything.
So you
And-
kind of fell into the billboard. You didn't like go after it, and then you
No, I
realized-
didn't go after it. No, but I had the right connections with the
Right,
right
right.
people who were going to do me the right favors. And fortunately, Jamie and I connected, and we were able to put something together that was incredibly special. And I leaned on the right people to get that done on my end. But when you look at billboards, billboard, what Jamie's talking about, there's a lot of intricacy with that. You're talking about different markets, right? So Pittsburgh is different from Philadelphia. I can tell you right now, it's easier for me to buy Newark, New Jersey than it is for me to buy Somerset County. The reason is when you look at certain markets, there's not a lot of billboards in certain areas, right? So if I got one company selling,
I'm laughing because one time I had 30 billboards in Newark, and I didn't know until I was driving to Hoboken for a sandwich. I think I was going to Fiore's, right? Fiore's?
Yeah.
I mean, they got the best fucking mutts, dude.
best,
do.
dude.
They
Literally
won the
homemade.
they've won
Yeah,
the
they've
Mutts
won it too many
competition so many times.
It's
They
the
don't, like
best.
remember when Michael Jordan just stopped going to the All-Star game because he's like, "Yo, let the other kids play."
Yeah.
That's how good their Mutts is. I called Sean because what you could do is you go on a rotator program, which they don't offer anymore. But that's how I got creative.
Yeah,
That's
I don't think that people even know how to get on a billboard. They have no idea how much it costs. How
Well,
do you do it?
The
Who do
thing
you
is,
call
that's
about it?
why I never recommend buying one. If you're in a position
No.
where you can only afford one billboard, that money's got to go somewhere else.
Somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Don't do that because
I
you're gonna
agree.
you're gonna get fucking crushed. You're not
Totally.
gonna get any business. Don't do it. But basically, dude, I was driving through Newark one day, and bro, I had it was like I was running for fucking mayor, dude. E clean, bro. E clean, bro. E clean, bro. Some of the fucking billboards were next to each other. E clean, bro. E clean, bro. I'm like, bro, is the guy who installed these things even giving a fuck? Because looks like
Which
there's
some
some
people
massive
do on purpose.
like
those-
I'm like,
in a
yeah,
row.
but dude, it looked like it looked like
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it was
Yeah.
I
It was a Newark,
peppered,
Overkill.
Jersey campaign. Yeah.
oh,
yeah.
dude, 30 boards in
Yeah.
Newark alone.
No.
I mean, it looked
Yeah.
it looked like I was running for mayor.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, dude, I get mad love at the Newark airport.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
knows who I am, and they
Yeah.
let me right in all the time. So
It's also the most traveled part of the state of New Jersey, Newark. New
I'm not
Jersey.
mad. I just
No,
I
no,
just
I
thought
know.
it was overkill.
So,
I'm like, I
well,
don't need
to-
30 of them up here.
To your point, though, so if you look at areas where there's not a lot of billboards or
Yeah.
a lot of inventory or a lot of companies selling billboards, that's where it gets more expensive. So people are like, why am I spending more money in Marlboro, New Jersey than I am Newark, New
Yeah.
Jersey? There's more people in Newark. And I say, well, it's because in Marlboro, there's really one company selling billboards. That's it. So
That's
they
how-
know what they got and they know what they can charge, and they're going to charge what they want because it's selling out. And there's only so much of it to sell. But when I'm in Newark, New Jersey, on the New Jersey Turnpike that gets 4 million impressions a month, there is Clear Channel, Lamar, Outfront, Interstate, all these different companies, and they're all competing with each other. And they're all talking to my agency who handles business with them nationally, saying, hey, how do we get that Eat Clean Bro business? How do we get that business? How do we get this business? And I say, this is what you need to do. You want it? Great.
Yeah.
You don't want it? I'm moving on from you.
What
And
does a
that's how
billboard
we get
cost?
these deals. Well, it depends on where you're
Dude,
buying
that's
and why
like,
you're
what does
buying
a
it.
house cost? Are you
Yeah,
buying
yeah,
a house?
yeah.
Are you buying a house in Indiana?
But what's the minimum price? I have no idea. What's the minimum price for a billboard on the
Well, I
turnpike?
mean, it depends if
at
it
exit 13.
depends on how much
Turnpike.
you're buying. Where exit 13 on
Yeah,
the Jersey
yeah,
Turnpike
but
at rate card, what it's supposed to cost?
Yeah.
10
$7,000
grand.
to $10,000
For 1 month?
Wait, it depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
If
What do you
you're
get
at
it for?
exit 10, you're closer to 7. If you're at exit 14, you're closer to 10. By the time you get to exit 15, you're up to $15,000 a month on a billboard.
You're
One
kidding.
billboard. Yeah, because the impressions bulge. I mean, they're huge, and then you got traffic just sitting there at that
Right.
billboard. It's
But
not moving.
Greg,
It's
what
a lot of
you
value.
want
to
to
that.
remember too, right? So like,
Yeah.
you also one of the things you got to take into mind. You're a divorce attorney. You're an injury attorney.
Right.
Now you got 5 or 6 other injury attorneys, which
Mhm.
you do. You see Triple G, right?
That's awesome.
You got Ponley Hockey.
Yep, yep.
You got I got hurt, right? That one.
I'm
guy?
not with I got hurt. No,
I met him
yeah,
at the.
yeah,
I went to go see LeBron play. Me and Devin went, and
Yeah.
I met him in line for
Yeah,
beer. So if you
yeah.
want, I'll introduce you to him.
Unfortunately, I can't. I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
I
sorry.
strictly work with Ponley Hockey nationally, and then
Oh, you're not with Triple G?
No, I work with GGO. Yeah, but that was
GGO.
that was a referred client through Ponley Hockey, which is the
Oh.
only reason I handle it. I signed.
Oh.
So in my business,
I mean, I would want to work with Ponley Hockey anyway. I mean,
they're
those
great.
guys are
They're
fucking
amazing.
awesome.
But I try to, in my lane, it's different than other businesses. For media buying, I try to stay with one company that does that thing in that area. So if you're national, if Eat Clean Bros national, I'm not working with another meal prep company.
Right.
And even if you're only buying this region and I get some guy in Florida, I'm still going to call Jamie and say, do you mind if I handle it? Even though I don't have to.
Right.
It's what I do because
right
I don't
thing to do.
really need to bring on additional business unless,
Well, back to like billboards and just injury attorneys in general, right? So for me, I was a certain category. I was a food company. So since my category was like, bro, there's Panera Bread, there's McDonald's, there's like other food companies. But if I was an injury attorney, so the billboard deal, I got the billboard deal of a lifetime. But what helped my cause was I was a category, right? So you got like auto dealers, you have injury attorneys. There's certain categories that just inherently pay more because they know, well, like Mark at Autoland. Well, if Autoland doesn't buy it, Sansone will buy it.
Right.
So they know there's like a line in the sand. We could be like, all right, we could hold the line at 5,000. Whereas like a company like mine, there is nobody to bid me against. And a lot of the times in advertising, what happens, which fucking Z100 did to me, Greg.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with that. Dude, I had nothing
My
to do-
biggest fucking advertising fail ever was my Z100 campaign because
Bro.
Blue Apron dwarfed me with a $90 fucking coupon next to my Eat Clean Bro commercial.
Listen, I think that's a problem. I agree.
I have Scary Jones like, hey guys, come check out Eat Clean Bro. It's so great. And then Elvis is like,
Right.
oh man, Blue Apron sent me all of this stuff for free and then gave me $90. And I'm like, God damn it,
You
Elvis.
see? I got nothing to do with that.
You
Had nothing
fucking
to do with it.
crushed me, Elvis.
Got nothing to do with it.
Was that expensive?
Fucking listen to you in my whole life. Yeah, it was like $50,000 a month. Yeah, I got smoked. You know what? I got some
They do
business.
charge a lot, right? They're expensive.
They
It's
charge a
crazy.
lot.
Look, it
It
was
Radio ads are expensive.
Well, I think it was like $50,000 for 3 months. Sean wouldn't let me get
it was
buried that
it was
bad.
60 grand for 3 months.
Oh.
It was 20 a month.
But
Again, I got nothing to do with
here, look, it was more of I just had something to prove. As a kid who grew up listening to Z100, I wanted to be on that fucking station. I didn't give a fuck if it worked. It was like a a notch under my belt. So, John, tell me a situation where you were like, fuck it, I don't like a business situation where like I just got something to prove. Like you ever like sponsor an event that was fucking there was no return on it. Like you ever just do something in business, you're like, you know what, this fucking means something to me, and I don't give a fuck if there's a return. Like Z100 did. I did it because I wanted to be on that show. It was a special thing. I grew up as a kid listening to it on the bus, and like my first billboard I put by my grandma's house just
an
because
ego boost.
I just wanted my grandma to see my first billboard. So
Right.
like,
Totally.
and I wanted all the kids I grew up with in my hometown to see my first billboard. So like, there was times in business where I just did things because I was like, yo, this is meaningful to me.
Right.
And it ended up like a lot of the times it ended up working, except for Blue Apron with their $90 coupon dwarfing my shit. But yeah, John, tell us about that, bro.
I didn't go to college,
Yeah.
but technically, when I started my business, I was already up and running. By the time I was like, 18, 19 is when I helped pay my parents' house off cash because we were going to go in foreclosure. And then I went to OCC for like half a semester in a business course because I'm like, what can I learn out of this? I don't know anything about business. I have nobody around me that could tell me business shit. So long story short, the dude didn't want me to use my own business as the example in the project for this whole thing. And I was like, dude, I'm only here for my business. And he's like, oh, you got to think of something else. So I fought him on it, and then he luckily let me do it.
Yeah.
And long story short, he pulled me aside at the end of it, and he goes, dude, listen, like, I know you already kind of have like a little thing going here. He's like, but like, this isn't a long-term play. Like, you're not going to be able to like succeed in this, right?
Wow.
So I'm not going to mention any
Sean
names.
would have beat him up.
I was gonna say.
Sean would have the gloves
Sean's
off.
from center Philly.
Advance us
Sean
15
had
years later.
Sean had a shank in his
Right.
sock. He would have slit his jugular.
It doesn't exist anymore.
He would have
So I wound up seeing him and his colleagues because he actually was in advertising, and he was
trying to demoralize you to steal your
for
business.
that reason.
Yeah.
So he apparently was a part of like the stuff in Atlantic City when Atlantic City was trying to come back, like do AC and shit.
Oh wow.
So anyway, long story short, he had like an office that he worked at.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I'm not gonna mention towns or names or anything like that. But
You can cough over it.
yeah.
It's all right. It's allowed.
But I guess my fuck you situation there was I essentially rented the space directly next to them.
Yeah.
Never went to it. I wrapped the windows, and I did it. I did it for a full year.
That's great. Great story.
And I wrapped the windows, everything. And
I love that.
And I was like, and I did it, and I emailed his maybe he never got it, I don't know, but I emailed his OCC email.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hope you enjoy looking at my office every morning. Because
Yeah.
literally where he was, you walked out and I'm directly there. You can't
You
miss
had
it.
to see it.
You had to see it.
I
Yeah.
love that, dude.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was a good fuck you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But
Damn, I didn't think you had that in you, John. That was some
fuck yeah.
that
dude.
was some Dr. Evil shit.
Dude, but the cool part though too is I knew like my wife hated me for it. She's
Yeah.
super conservative and she's our CFO and does all of our financial shit.
Oh man, yeah.
But so that was hard. But the good thing is we got clients out of it. So people drove by it, they saw it, they called us. It worked out. But it was a good spite story. You guys ever see Curb Your Enthusiasm? The Spite Coffee
Yeah.
store.
Oh my God,
That's what I did. I did the Spite
terrific.
Coffee.
That was terrific.
Yes,
Right.
the Spite Coffee store.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that for
Isn't
me.
it funny how all these people do these things to motivate us, and we
Yeah.
grab onto them like,
Totally
Well,
and
I'll,
it just pushes us
trying
extra.
to detract.
I'll tell you. I got a similar story that I unfortunately I did to our friend Sean here. So I was in my own war with Clear Channel.
Right.
And they weren't budging on the Bucks County price.
Bucks.
So I circumvented Sean. I called my friends over at Outfront, and I knew he lived in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. So I bought one Eat Clean Bro billboard from Outfront. And I go, oh, fuck, Sean. Outfront gave me the price I wanted. He's like, what? Clear Channel came back. They got you the price. All right, Clear Channel. Yeah, you could take that down.
Thank you for the
Jeez.
reminder. I forgot all about that
dude,
one. Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
have to
that's a good
lease a
one.
building. You just put a billboard up.
That's
Yeah,
it.
no,
I
it's
know
good.
where this was though.
Where's
I
that
wanted
guy
to
at
go
now?
strong.
We'll do some more.
I don't know, man. That's a good question.
Sean will hook it up.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
good question.
yeah.
I don't freaking know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let me know. Just give me.
I
the
think he
address,
might be
I
under
got
the
you.
18 bridge right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Saying, oh, fucking John V took everything
He's
from me.
shaking.
He's
I
actually
do
under
want
the.
to
He's
ask
actually
John a
under the
question though,
Walt Whitman
because
Bridge.
he's got the company adapting
Social.
right? Adapting social.
Social.
So like when you're literally dealing with social right now, and that's what's going on. It's everywhere. It's digital.
Mhm.
But then you do have the billboards that are still there or the print ad.
Mhm.
So if you had a client, where else would you recommend your client to go? Would you recommend clients to go to billboards or to print? Is there one better than the other one?
So with those things, I defer to Sean always. So, like
Mhm.
if a client comes to us and like, oh, and this is the thing, like strategically, like it's a unique situation with Jamie because obviously we both work with Jamie. But like in most cases, like when we're working with a client that's like in a sizable client that
Yeah.
has the budget,
Right.
we're like, if you really want to blitz a market, you got to have everybody's on their phones, right?
Right.
But also you're in a car a lot too. So
Sure.
either way, you want to hit him by, the joke land and see. It's like you got to hit him on mobile, you got to hit him in real time. So realistically, I typically defer to Sean on that, but I would say whether it's print or whatever else, those things still work too, by the way. Meaning
Like the
like
coupon booklets and stuff like that?
I don't know about
it's a
coupon.
multifaceted approach, and it has
Right.
to do with the budget and has to do with the area you're trying to hit.
Totally.
So if you're trying to hit like the East Coast, you got to be careful. You could blow millions of dollars in print, right?
Totally.
Print, streaming, it all depends on the zip codes
Yeah,
where
like
you're
is
trying
print
to hit.
still out there? Are people still paying attention to print ads?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Mailers,
Really?
Yep.
yeah. It depends on the offer.
still
dude.
loaded.
It's all about call to action.
Yep.
And then the retargeting behind the impression.
Right.
And then you have to keep hitting them.
Yeah.
And then there's like AI solutions that just really, I mean, bro, what? Let's segue into fucking AI. And
I got
Greg,
a lot
like,
to say on that.
Well, I
No,
didn't.
get what you're
I don't
saying.
know if I answered your. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no, it's
so
fine.
Sean helps with all of my traditional,
Yeah.
and John helps with my digital.
Right.
But a part of my digital, I also have a creative agency.
Mhm.
I have a public relations agency. I have this whole content studio.
But you're a national brand, so you need all that.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
Well, it's not.
No?
Well, it all has to do with like your budget. Like the thing is, like even back to how much does a billboard cost? It's
Right.
it's an ambiguous question.
Yeah.
So what you want to do, and the part of the reason why I wanted to have this show so bad is because a lot of people look up to me for the marketing, right? Like my
Mhm.
marketing strategy.
Right.
I hammered the fuck out of traditional, and I tried to segue my traditional into my digital, and I tried to tie it all in with like my influencers and all my celebrities and shit
Yeah,
who are
yeah.
on social, and tie it into paid ads and kind of feed one another on some things. But a lot of the times in business, man, people always think revenue. Revenue is very important, but you also have costs, right? So revenue minus cost equals profit.
Right.
You want to keep your financial metrics in line, because a marketing guy, like a guy like Sean,
Right.
I could go to Sean and we could put something together. We could blow something the fuck up for like 50 grand a month, right?
Right.
We could go crazy.
Oh yeah,
We could do something really nice.
absolutely.
Mhm.
But we have to like watch the financial metrics of the business to ensure, because there's brand plays. So like, say you're trying to raise money, no one's biting. You call Sean, you're like, yo, the private equity firm's on Broadway and blah, blah, blah. I need to fucking pepper the fuck out of these 4 blocks. I want to hit the fucking train station. I want to hit their office. I want to hit north and south of their office. And I want to hit like the east side, like whatever. You want to follow these people. and blitz them, psych them out, give them FOMO. And now all of a sudden the valuation of your company just goes through the fucking roof.
Mhm.
Like you could utilize billboards to go fucking mind fuck potential buyers. Now they're like, Jesus Christ, this guy's larger than life.
Well,
Mhm.
that's how you came off in the very beginning, because everybody saw your billboards everywhere. Eat clean, bro. It's,
Right.
3 words that said and spoke volumes, and you did. You felt like you have to have it. You have to have it for real. Every time I'm driving around, I'm like,
You
what the hell?
you couldn't be in a car and not see your
Am I
billboards.
right? Yeah, no, you had
That's
to have it.
That's a fact.
There was FOMO for sure. Like, you gotta have Eat Clean, bro.
Yeah.
You had to.
But the one thing that I love about Jamie though,
Yeah.
that I don't think what did you go to college for besides partying?
Networking.
Yeah. No, what actual did
I
you
got,
degree in?
It's like really funny to think about now. I always wanted to do this, but it seemed like impossible.
Mhm.
And my dad was like, you got to go for finance and law, which is fucking, bro, you guys know me now. Could you imagine me going to school for finance and law?
Not law.
Mm.
I mean, dude, can you
Finance, right? He'll be a Wall Street guy, right?
Yeah.
I don't like finance just because it's like, in my opinion, bro, like a lot of it's like predicting the weather, dude. A lot of
Yeah.
these guys make these
Yeah.
these forecasts and shit, and you're like, bro, it's just not real. So finance for me, I think is all bullshit. I hate
Yeah.
finance guys. Unless they want to give me a big check, then come on, Big Daddy, I'm for sale.
Quick stroke of a check.
But I went to college. I wanted to do marketing for Coca-Cola, dude, which is really funny because he just brought me a Coca-Cola bro can, which
love
means
it.
it means a lot to me because number one, bro is the name, but I loved Polar Bear. I love Santa Claus. I love that Coca-Cola created the Santa Claus image, and
They created the advertising industry.
they created it. And I got so much, like, obviously I do not drink soda, but
Right.
I wanted to work for Coca-Cola so bad. I wanted to do like advertising for Coca-Cola, man. That's what I really dreamed of doing.
So I asked that question because I feel like you're like an accidental marketing genius.
Yeah.
And I say accidental because obviously you love cooking and you were super
Yeah.
into your health for a long time. Like, you know,
Yeah,
you're a
well,
trainer.
not anymore. No, I'm sure.
But I'm saying you were training and stuff like that from when you were young on. And I think the difference is though is that there's not a lot of adoption for when people have a huge brand and the CEO and founder gets as famous as the brand does. Like again, like you just said, like you couldn't be anywhere and see Eat Clean Bro on your
Everywhere.
car,
Everywhere.
and then all of a sudden, but everyone's like, "Yo, Jamie's the
Wow.
man."
I just had an idea.
Yeah, Jamie's the man.
You
Like,
know, in
everywhere.
like communist countries, like Kim Jong-un or Saddam
Yeah.
Hussein, like I'm just gonna put billboards like, "Ugh." Like, yo, they'll be like, yo, who's this guy staring down at me? What do you think? With my meta glasses, like,
I love it. Just on, just fucking recording.
like, yeah, I'm watching you. And then, yo, we could have the billboard. We'd have the billboard, and it could blink, so they see my face with the glasses, and the billboard's just blinking, and it's like Eat Clean Bro to the side, but it's like me with my beard, just like looking down.
You've
yeah,
had some of the funniest billboard ideas I think that I've ever heard, built off of your original creative.
Yeah, true.
But you know what's so funny, man? I bought this stupid book the other day. I thought it was really
Stupid books
funny.
are the best books.
No, I thought it was funny
Mhm.
because it's 101 things I learned in advertising school, right? And I think so much of what everybody does is complete bullshit. And I think
Yeah.
people just talk the talk. So I started reading it. It's actually, it's hilarious and it's also very informative. So today I was getting in the car. It was sitting in my car and I dropped the book and it opened up to this page. I'm not kidding you. Page 47. And it says, don't miniaturize the billboard and don't magnify the business card. So why I love Jamie. When I first got into the
Wow,
billboard
that's
industry,
great advice.
the
Don't
first-
magnify the business card. Go
the
ahead.
first thing that I learned in the billboard industry, first thing I was taught by my mentor at the time, was simplicity. Stop trying to overcomplicate
Yeah,
shit. We
yeah.
live in a world full of people who feel they need to reinvent the wheel and
Yes.
overcomplicate. Stop
Yes.
overcomplicating shit. So I got to Jamie, and it was the first like big billboard campaign that I was able to do.
Right.
And I loved it because I said, what are we going to do on the billboard? And he goes, same thing I've been doing. Eat clean, bro. And it's
That's
going to
it.
take up
Yeah.
the whole board. And I go, fucking perfect,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Simple.
And if you look at every billboard that I've done for any client that's allowed my advice, which now there's a lot of them,
Well,
they're
yeah,
all
you're
all
welcome.
the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Pond Lee Hockey, Pond
Yeah,
Lee
yeah,
Hockey.
yeah.
It's and
Right.
you
Yeah.
know them, you know the brand. There's no confusion of
Right.
who the
Ray
brand is.
Katina's doing it now.
And
Right.
and Jamie was really, I believe this was the inventor of that in this area because
Yep.
he just took up the whole board with 3 very simple words, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden people would come in and they wanted to change your words and change your board and change this
know,
and change
Jesus.
it. And I'm like, Jamie, don't change it.
How many people do you
Don't
think sat in
change
these
it.
boardrooms are like, what the hell is Eat Clean Bro? I don't want it. This is
But here's the
ridiculous,"
beautiful
right?
part.
And
So
it's-
what do
it's
they
so
do?
Awesome.
They go look it up,
Yeah.
right? And here's what's even better.
Yeah.
I just want to backtrack for 1 second, if you don't mind. What's awesome about having John and I in the
Yeah.
room today, this is something that you don't really see in our industry. Guys like me and John, generally,
Yeah.
because people in our industry tend to be a little greedy.
Oh yeah.
We work against one another. So
Right.
I'm sitting in the room with Jamie when John's
Right.
not here. I'm like, Jamie, don't do that. Don't spend the money on that. You know, it's just a waste of money.
Mhm.
No, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
You talk about people who want to buy one billboard. I say, don't buy a billboard. What's
Yeah.
your website look like? What's your social look like?
Right, exactly.
Call John first,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
if you don't have this part done right,
Yeah,
don't come to me for a
Right.
billboard, because
Right.
people are going to look you up.
Right,
And I don't
they
want
are.
them to see that shit.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Good point.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah, so I introduced these two. Put it this way, me and Sean have been together for a long time. So
Mhm.
Sean's seen the ups and downs of people I've trusted who've betrayed me, like
Mm.
usual.
Everything.
Usually, people in
I know
digital
exactly what you
advertising just need to be fucking lined up and just shot.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're not wrong, dude.
Honestly,
You're not wrong.
but I'll tell you this: I think AI is gonna completely eradicate the frauds. So
Totally.
like in pretty much in all industries, right? So like even we had Troy and Alex on. AI is gonna fuck up the mortgage industry. It's
Mhm.
gonna fuck up real estate because people are gonna just there's gonna be like a turbo tax for fucking buying a home,
Mhm.
where like you fill out your information and if you qualify, you get this, you get a competitive rate.
I'm actually building an AI model right now. I'm building a business around AI. And the funny part is like everybody's overhyping it. It's not where it's going to be, obviously, but everyone's pretending it's there right now, and it's not even close. Like I had people, I remember when it first came out, ChatGPT first released their first few models, and everyone's like, all these real estate agents were like, yo, I'm not gonna, I'm firing my assistant and my social media manager, and it's gonna make the whole schedule for me. It's gonna be able to do whatever. And even till today, like I talk to, some businesses that are like, oh yeah, we're leveraging this. And it's like, when you look at the stuff they're doing, it's terrible. And it's so obvious. But also you have to think about it. How funny is this? Meta releases, Meta's AI, right?
Yeah.
Obviously it's on his glasses. I have them too. But also you have Google, who has Gemini. Now, if I use Gemini and I said, write me a blog on, eCleanBro, specifically focusing on this one SEO keyword, blah, 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 whatever, right? And I go real deep into it. If I leverage that piece of content, put it on Google, Google punishes me for it because I'm using strictly AI content. So does Meta. If you use AI written content on Meta, it tracks it as AI readers, and ultimately you get punished.
Really?
So the point though is that like people are like, yo, AI is going to replace all these different things, and it's going to definitely make a big shift in a lot of industries. But the key here is like, again, like Google as an example, right? Like we spend millions and millions and millions of dollars a month on Google. So we have priority access to certain things and new releases and stuff. So we jump on. Ultimately, like the question I asked them was like, you guys can't cannibalize yourself because the searchers are not paying you dick, right? Companies like eCleanBro that are B2C or
That's what drives-
adapting social.
That's what drives me so crazy.
Right.
I don't want to interrupt you, but when people
Okay.
are like, I found this on the internet. It's like,
No, people pay for that shit, dude.
You didn't find anything. We
Yeah.
found you.
Exactly. Oh, boom.
We found you, and we
found you.
paid,
Yeah.
and we
Right.
fucking paid.
We
You
paid
didn't find
royalties,
this.
right.
We found you.
And so anyway, so I have an example of this too. So I'm sitting there, my pool guy, so just talking about my pool, and he's like, AI, man. He's like, all my different vendors that like mobile, like they always talk about this stuff, like, yo. So my pool guy today, he's like, opened up the pool and stuff. He's like, yo, AI, dude. He's like, this is crazy. He's like, he goes, I remember, and this is what made me really think about this. He goes, I remember back, because this guy's been in the game for a very long time, but he goes, I remember when they made the automatic pool vacuum cleaner. And he goes, fuck, I'm out of business.
Yeah.
Right? And he goes, John, he goes, that same year, he goes, I lost probably close to like 50% of my client base. And he goes, guess what happened? He goes, 2 months into the year, 90% hired me back.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You have to manage
That's
the
right.
freaking vacuum.
Yeah.
Right? So people are like, oh yeah, it's going to do everything. But no, but like you have to manage the technology, right? And somebody has to be good at it. And that's why like we just had our conference in Atlantic City with my team where we fly everybody in. And part of the whole thing that one of our board of advisors pitched on and had a presentation on was AI will not replace you, ... but,
Yeah.
right? So it's like
Level up.
But right, if you don't level up, then of course you're going to get replaced, right?
Yeah.
Like you need to know how to work the AI.
So many people in their career just don't level up. It's
No.
crazy. And that's the thing with me. Like I've been able to withstand the test of time. Number one, I was light years ahead of my industry when I first came out. I mean,
Yep.
I was way
Right.
ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm constantly innovating, constantly finding new levers to pull and ways to intrigue people, which it's fucking hard to be in competition with yourself day in, day out.
Right.
Fucking 20 years in now.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, back to like the pool guy. Is he fucking kidding me? Is he really worried about AI?
No.
But I
He
can
was,
understand, like in the
he
very
was saying,
beginning when he
not
didn't
for
understand
his
it, right?
business, not for his business. He was just saying, he was asking me in general. It's like he's a business owner. It's like, AI, like what do you think is going to happen?
Well,
And that's
buddy,
how it started.
you could use AI to like custom like build your audiences and follow people around and get more business to clean pools.
Right.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
my
listen,
buddy,
the police use the robotic dogs to go into certain houses and things, right? So why can't the pool guy
Right.
use something like that to, clean the
Clean the
pools?
pool.
So
right.
my boy Guy what's funny is that's what his business is. He builds solar-powered automatic pool cleaners.
Really?
Manufactured in China. Super smart guy. I was trying to explain to him because he was like, yeah, we got to go through these retail channels. I was like, dude, if you get a couple influencers,
Right.
Greg's favorite, to go and essentially promote your pool, you could cut out the middleman and just have your Amazon store because they're killing you with like wholesale pricing.
Right.
So now I think he finally caught on. I had to hammer him hard.
Yeah.
Because he's like, no, you don't know. I'm like, dude, actually, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is how I became a multimillionaire.
Right.
And you're getting crushed with your retail and your buybacks and all this bullshit. These pool stores are going to go out of business because they can get their shit on Amazon. They know what
That's
they
what I
need.
use.
They know what they need. You can get it in under 20 hours. How are these pool stores going to stay in business?
Totally.
Amazon has a better price and they'll fucking deliver it for free. Or maybe they won't. I don't know. And my wife takes care of all this. But I think he finally caught on and he's leveraging the influencer program and everything. One thing I do want to say to the business owners out there, whenever business owners are confused, because I tell people this all the time in business, it's easy to spend money, dude.
Yeah.
Spending money is the easiest fucking thing there is to do in business.
Right.
It's how do you spend it correctly. And I would say if you're short on cash and you don't know what to do with marketing, go out there and give people your product for free. People want to spend money and they're petrified of free. Go out and give your shit out for free. Go fucking help somebody. It's 2017, I gave away $1 million in food. That was my most explosive growth year ever. And like people come in, experts come in, just like people tell me the billboards don't work. They want to change the billboard. Everyone has a fucking opinion. 2025, Jamie, hey, fuck you. My gut is right. I'm a fucking genius, and I'm done listening to people who think they're smart because not one of those motherfuckers will ever accomplish anything close to what I've done.
Wait. I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. You said something to me that I think every business owner should listen to, and that's what I like about how you operate. Like, you come off like you're this like blue collar business dude, like, you know, whatever else, but like you're fucking really, really, really smart when it comes to business. But it's because you don't take bullshit, right? So like if somebody gives you, so I was having a conversation with Jamie, and I was like, "Yo, dude, SEO is looking good," and he's like, "What do you mean good?" Like, and I was like, "Bro, we're up." And he's like, I said to him some stats, and he's like, "What does up mean?" So we get on a phone call, and then, but you said this
ambiguous terms,
totally. But you said this, and I think the biggest thing that you said, because even though obviously in that current quarter we were up, but relative to what, right? But I think what you said was the best, and I brought it back, and I say it to my entire company, especially my ad experts. But I think everybody in any sort of business where if you own a company and people are working for you, this is the thing that matters the most. You said this to me, and it changed like the way I think about it. You go, don't give me you're giving me bullshit feel good metrics.
Yeah.
And dude, but that's so fucking powerful because in business, you have so many people who are, whether they report to you or whatever else, and they'll come to you and be like, yo, good news, this is happening, right? But it's like, yo, like, is it resulting in more revenue or are we netting more? Like, what does that mean? And so I just think that most people need to ask those questions. And I think that's what you do really well, by the way. You're good at cutting through the bullshit and being like, yo, like,
yeah, well, I don't like one of the things right off the bat, I'm not afraid to look stupid.
Right.
Because the checks go to my bank.
Right.
So I don't care. I want the money, dude. I want the
Right.
money. I don't care if you think I'm stupid. Obviously, we all know. I mean, there are still some private equity guys out there who think I'm stupid and it's funny. I want to know the truth. And I also want to know, like, so for example, right? Digital is great and it's a massive weapon for marketing, but there's all types of metrics that can get convoluted. And
Right.
Like, so you could have like internet, you could have impressions, right? Where Greg gets worked up. So like the influencer who's trying to charge a local business owner $10,000 a post because they have fucking 2 million impressions. Well, you got 2 million impressions. You did. But what does that translate into, right?
I don't know.
So, right. Well, the thing is, what me and John work on is we don't know, but let's drill into it. Let's find a point of origin. So over the last 12 months, our impressions are up this percentage, our revenue's up this percentage. Right? We upped our ad spend by this much, but like, and that's when you start toggling, right? So it's like, okay, it makes sense to increase the Facebook to Google spend, increase it a little bit. All right, the deliverability on the emails down. We got to refigure that out, right? Like we're gaining on digital ad spend, but we're losing on free email marketing. It's not free because you pay for the subscription, all this other shit. But
Right.
like, there's all different like weapons, right? And you want to make sure that each one of your weapons is firing correctly. There's operational metrics you need to pay attention to. You need to pay close attention to your cost of goods sold. And then also, so you have to watch your gross profit margin. You have to watch your net profit margin. You have to have line in the sand on where you want those margins to be, and that'll dictate your price. that'll dictate your intro offers, that'll dictate what discounts you give, and like you have to process all of that information and then work with guys like this. The reason why all these other people fucking hate traditional is because like a radio ad, a TV ad, a billboard, right? There's no clear, there are, right? So you could have call to action offers. What I like to do with a multifaceted approach, if I'm going to run a strong billboard campaign in Philly, I like to back it up with an organic Google search. So I know that the Eat Clean Bro billboard is a call to action for Eat Clean Bro Google search. That is a direct search. So that's when you go onto Google and you type in Eat Clean Bro. So what you would want to do is you'd want to do an aggressive intro offer, like, hey, you saw the billboard,
right?
$50 off or something, eatcleanbro.com. And then you could see that traffic flows, and then you could watch the deliveries of where the boxes are going. That way you could give like a big fuck you to the operators who say billboards don't work. They fucking work. You just can't follow the metrics and figure out how they work. I know they work because they made me famous.
Right, but they're not just, you can't just throw them up there. You have to back it up with everything. The whole entire
You don't
plan.
have to when
It's
you
what
own the
talked
company.
about, but it's what you talked about earlier, that you have to have everything. It's not just print ad, it's not just digital, it's not just billboards, it's everything all
But
together.
it's also
a plan.
It's really important to understand.
Yeah.
And this is where, going back to AI, right? Talk about what AI can do for you. And it's great. AI is great. There is some really beneficial.
But you have to know how to use AI.
You got to have a person that understands the market and how it works and why it works and how each thing. Look, streaming TV is way different from a billboard. So when I sit in meetings with people and they say to me, listen, I need you to give me some ROI on the bill. And I say, meeting over. I'm actually not interested because if you're not going to understand that a billboard is for building brand equity, then we have nothing to talk about because I'm not going to sit in this room 3 months from now when you say to me, oh, we didn't get any phone calls. First of all, people don't call you on the phone anymore. They Google you, to your point. Then they look you up online.
Right.
So you need to understand that. You got to have the understanding of what these things are. And these are the things where people like myself, people like John, we come in and explain that because not everybody is as educated and they need that education.
And this is
they
great
need
for
to
small
understand
businesses right now. Small businesses need to hear what you're talking about because that's the problem that I have, though, with the influencer, is that the influencer will go to these businesses, take advantage of them, and they're going to go, look at all these hits I have. But they're not really backing it up with anything.
And
that's the problem.
Not for nothing. Last thing I'll say on this.
Yeah.
No offense, because I love radio. We worked together back in the day.
Yeah.
All right? This is the reality of what I do.
Right.
On top of everything else in buying and strategizing. I also protect you, okay? Because you got every salesperson from radio, television, billboards calling your phone. And here's the best part.
Yeah.
Let's say I work for a radio station. We'll leave them unnamed for now, but a big New York radio station.
That's pretty safe. It's
right?
pretty safe.
And let's just say that demographic has nothing to do with Jamie's. They're still pushing internally, and I know this because I worked there. That's why I left. They're pushing their salespeople. Go in there and sell it to him and tell him this is why it's good for his business. And let me tell you something. If you're good at sales, they're going to come in and they're going to pitch one hell of a story. And Jamie might not buy it, but somebody will.
That's right.
But instead, Jamie says, talk to my advertising guy. They get on the phone with me. They go, you know what? I don't want to deal with this agent because he already knows better. And he knows this station doesn't fit this client. But if you're trying to buy stuff for yourself, every single time you're going to have somebody, and you might deny 9 people, but that 10th person's going to come in and they're going to sell you on that radio station or that TV station.
You're 100% correct.
And you made a mistake.
Yep.
You got to have that protection.
And you do need protection. And when you're in business, I mean, dude, look, Sean, you've been with me a long time. You saw the mistakes I've made in technology. I've made mistakes in construction. See, the thing is, man, there's a lot of con artists in business. And it's crazy because most people in business are full of shit. And you're like, I can't believe that this, like, is it me? Like, is it me? But people have self-preservation and their interests first. They're short-sighted. They're penny-wise, dollar-foolish. They take a guy like me and they want to bang me out for as much as they can.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get rich off you.
One of my favorite business stories was Ray Katina. I wanted to buy the Audi R8. And it was actually funny, dude. I felt bad. It was around COVID. I actually went and I donated $250,000 worth of food to people who needed it during COVID. I was like, yo, I can't buy this car at this time. But the thing is, Ray Katina, I go, Ray, I go, bro, this is the freehold Audi is like a missile silo. It's cool as hell. It's like,
it is really cool.
Gorgeous,
yeah.
gorgeous.
So I'm like, Ray, like, how do you stop people from fucking you? He's like, I don't. I'm like, what? He's like, nah, I get fucked all the time. I'm like, what? He's like, but I tell him. I go, you can fuck me and I'll pay you. But if you fuck me, I'll never use you again. So that's you fucking yourself. And I'm like, wow. He's like this little, like the smaller guy. He's like all happy. And I'm like, wow, Ray, that was like, that was incredible.
Mhm.
Like, you can fuck me, I'll
Right.
pay you, but I'll never use you again. That's almost like the most like
lost it.
So at the end of the day, right? You look at everything you just said.
Yeah.
As much as I say somebody like Jamie needs protection, all this stuff, I need Jamie just as much as right.
Mhm.
And I recognize that because Jamie and I, believe it or not, have been doing business together for almost a decade
yeah.
Yeah.
since I started my agency. And the one thing I always knew was don't be short-sighted.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
for real. And
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at all
That's
those people
that's
that
all
have
my
come
boys
and
were
gone.
still with me. Like, Greg, you see
And-
the people I'm with, you know?
You kept
and-
a lot of loyal people.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to credit Jamie right now,
Yep.
okay? And he knows this, and I've said it to him. But I am eternally grateful for the relationship
you,
that
man.
he and I share. And I'm not pumping his tires. This man,
Me too.
this man has sent me so many referrals,
Yeah.
so many people. And why? Because we have a good relationship.
Yeah.
He knows that I'm going to do the right thing because I
Mhm.
always do the right
It's
thing.
great.
Yep.
But if you don't lead with that and you get greedy
Right.
and you make mistakes,
Yep.
Right.
and then you lose people like Jamie,
Yeah.
and Jamie knows everybody. People don't think that far,
That's
right?
true.
But I know
Oh, yeah.
that not only is Jamie a brother and a friend,
Yeah.
Yep.
but he's also somebody that's very smart in business, and he
Nice.
recognizes when people do a good job, and he
Mhm.
is not afraid to send that business over.
Yeah.
What are we doing right now? What is this podcast about? It is about promoting his
Yeah.
friends' businesses. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what
Always
this guy
been.
does.
That's right.
Totally.
I'm
Yeah.
serious,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Every
that's
guest we've had
why
so
you
far.
do the right thing, right?
I'm at a point in my life where I've been fucked so many times. Well, actually, my circle is pretty small, but dude, I'll tell you this. One of the things that I've learned about when someone's getting ready to fuck you, so like, I know that you're not that guy, but when you were talking about those metrics about big or this
Yeah,
or that,
yeah.
I picked up on the fact like, yo, this is not tied to any point of origin. So like feel good metrics are essentially a way, and that's the way you con somebody is you tie them into an emotion, right? You
Mm.
take all of their logic away. You
Right.
take their point of origin away. Man, we're gonna blow you up. You're gonna have so much business, you're not gonna know what to do with it.
Mhm.
And that's how you con somebody. You get them thinking outside of logic into emotion, and then you carry them there and you take all their money. I mean, that's like what a con artist does. A con
Right.
artist gets you to think in an emotional sense and to
Mhm.
think with your emotions.
Yeah.
And then another thing too that I learned, compulsive liars, when
Mm.
they're saying numbers, the numbers are always a little different. It's never the same number.
Mm.
And I picked up, it's like a lying habit that these people have, because I've been fucked so many times.
Mm.
I pick up when people are saying numbers, listen to their story, and if they tell the story again and the number's different,
Right.
stay away from them. They're up to no good. They're lying. They forgot they're lying, and they lie so much they can't even keep
Can't
track of
figure
their
it out.
own
Yeah,
lies.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Dude.
compulsive liar, and that's con artist, like all day long.
Do you want to hear a crazy John gets fucked situation?
Yeah.
So
OnlyFans.
This is exactly. Check that shit
Oh,
out, Johnny V. Johnny V. But the craziest thing that ever happened to me, I won't go into details, was back in 2016. My attorney and my CCO at the time,
CEO or
CC,
COO? Oh, CC. What
CCO,
is that?
Creative Content Officer. We're starting an agency.
That's not even a real executive
while I was
title. Bro.
paying
Tell
them
that guy to
both.
fuck himself.
Yeah, right,
CCO
Yeah.
sounds like CCD. You should go
Right.
back there and study the Bible.
right.
Go ask Jesus for forgiveness.
that's what we need there. But literally, I have somebody one of my team members came into my office like, "Yo, I think something shady's happening with X person,"
Oh,
and I was like, "What? No." They're like, "Yeah," because that person was with me for 9 years at that point. 9 years, and I'm like, "All right." Fast forward now, picture this: I'm paying my attorney, and I've been paying this person for 9 years, kids' birthdays, all that
Wow.
shit.
Wow.
And then I find out that they both were starting a company, but behind my back, which failed, by the way. So
They didn't adapt.
Fuck you. They didn't adapt, baby.
They didn't
They didn't
adapt.
adapt, baby.
Wow.
But ultimately, I remember in that moment, like I was like, oh my god, like I can't believe that
The
this
betrayal,
actually
yeah,
right.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
that shit like sunk from my heart
yeah.
to my fucking ass. And I remember being like, damn, like this is
you get
really
your heart
happening.
broken. Yeah.
Dude. But you know what? I learned from it so much.
Well,
you know?
that's the thing. The key takeaway, Greg, in business, right?
Yeah.
You're never gonna be good enough.
Right.
You're gonna have to keep learning.
right.
You're gonna get your heart broken.
Yep.
You're gonna have to keep going. And guess what? At the end of the day, so like we've all been through some serious shit. I know all you guys pretty well, and you too, Greg.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
like I told you, you're going through the worst time of your life. Nobody can even conceptualize it, and then you get through it, and then people are like, "Oh, yeah, that's that guy from that time." And like, like even like the last 4 years, like I've been digging out of. I did construction during COVID, and I got impaled. I'm digging myself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, even when I tell people, I'm like, yeah, dude, my debt schedule is like $250,000 a month. They're like, yeah, but you're doing great. I'm like, yo, how much fucking money do you think I have?
Right.
Did you not hear what I just said?
Right.
I said $250,000 a month. Do you know how much fucking money that is a year?
Oh, bro,
Do you know how much
please.
money I have to make just to not go bankrupt?
Right.
They don't get it.
No.
And I could say it on the air and not even take this part out, and they still won't even get it. It'll just go over their head.
Right.
And it's like, so the key takeaway is like, no matter how bad things are, the happy and the sad thing is that nothing lasts forever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the good times and the bad times, they both end. So enjoy the good times, learn from the bad times, keep moving. And it's cliche and it's all the same shit, but whether you're selling traditional advertising, digital advertising, whether you're selling a personality on the air,
Yep.
whether you're fucking manufacturing food, it's all universal language of
Mhm.
success, that there's going to be ups and downs. You have to respond and you have to build off the bricks thrown at you. And that's like the massive key takeaway. And I hope that the listeners got some good shit today.
I know I did for sure. I'm 100% I did.
And we got to do another episode at your studio, dude.
We
Me,
gotta.
you, and
We
Sean
gotta rip
and
it.
Greg,
We
if
gotta
he's
rip
got
it.
time.
Yeah,
He's
for
a very
sure.
busy
I
man.
would do it.
No,
Can-
get out of here. I'm good.
Can I just say
available.
one thing real quick?
Yeah.
Because I think the anybody who's listening to this that owns a business, I think the important thing, and I'm not just trying to plug me or Sean in this
Go
case.
to adaptingsocial.com. All of your contact information. We're going to give you 20% off. But wait, there's
Right
more.
now.
Sign up in the next 10 minutes and get 15% off absolutely free.
And a billboard.
Yeah, and a billboard.
Bam.
And some
But-
airtime with Greg T.
Sold.
Where to
I'm
go?
in.
Where to
Hey,
go? Where to go?
That's
Just
right.
don't
Cut me
ask
in.
me how much
Cut
the
me
billboard
in.
costs.
Yeah. Yeah, don't ask.
No, but the only thing I was going to
Don't
say
forget
though
about the little guy over here.
yeah. The only thing I was going to say though, and ending with, I want people to take away though, is that when it comes to advertising, especially if you're at an important part in your business, like you use an example, a lot of people that are probably going to listen to this don't make 2 million a year, right? Like a lot of them are going to do
Is
way
that a big
under.
deal?
Well, so I'm just saying.
I'm
you know,
sorry. That was no
so-
disrespect.
No, like if you think about it, like perfect example. If a business makes over $1 million a year top line, right?
Yeah.
They're in the I think it's 7% of the country, right? Only do up to $1 million in business, right? So when you put, everybody does this in a room, we're at a very small percentage. But so I'm just saying there's a lot more people out there. There's over, again, 80-90% of people who are not touching that. And so when you're looking to do advertising or marketing or billboards, whatever else, it's really important that you work with people who actually know this shit, right? And I think when I say that, like, again, I know Sean's been in the game for a long time now. I've been in the game. At the end of the day, you have to be working with somebody, and I'm not saying exactly us, but I'm just saying in general, like they have to know what the fuck that they're doing. Because the problem is people look shiny online and perception trumps reality,
So-
and they're not who they say they
Right.
are.
And so, yes. And the mistakes that I've made, if you're looking to acquire a digital agency, know what your customer acquisition cost is.
Mm-hmm.
And for very simply put, you can Google it. You could use ChatGPT. It'll figure it out for you. But take basically all the money you spend in marketing at the
Mhm.
time and factor that into the new customers that you're currently getting. And then hold that agency accountable. Like, hey, I'm bringing you on. I'm outsourcing. I'm going to save some costs, but I want to see my customer acquisition costs come down. I want to see more new customers, and like really hold people accountable to some metrics. Otherwise, like your agency could be taking you for a ride, which happened to me multiple times.
Mhm.
And that was because I had no point of origin, right? Like it's all these feel good metrics. And obviously I've been around the block enough times to tell John, I know this is not who you are.
Mhm.
I'm happy that all of my things are up, but what does it mean, right? Tie it to
Mhm.
something that's tangible.
Right.
And yeah, obviously my metrics, the visits,
Mhm.
fucking more people are on eCleanBro.com now than ever.
Great.
And I was like, how is that possible? I had fucking 100 billboards up one time. How am I getting more eyeballs with the vans, with the billboards, all that stuff? Because the vans are also great. I mean,
Right.
you do buses too,
Mm-hmm.
and you do posters on the wall. You do all
Yep.
types of stuff.
Wallscapes.
But ultimately, like, if you're going to bring on a digital agency, just any time in business, have some points of origin. And the times I've made the most significant financial loss, there was no point of origin. And when things started to get really bad for me and I had to like pull myself out of the dirt, it was like, wait a second, my tech bill's way too high. All right,
Right.
we'll do 1% of sales max. That's the budget per month.
Mhm.
We'll do 7% of marketing max per month.
Mhm.
We'll do 27 this max per month, that, and like start edging it out on your P&L. That way, like things can't go too fucking haywire. But hyperinflation and everything, man, things got really fucking crazy, really turbulent. When the price of gas and food went way up, I mean, it was just a bloodbath. I mean, 2022 was one of the worst performing years of the stock market like ever since the Great Depression. So we lived, like, honestly, man, I thought 9/11 was thought that was like my history. Then we had COVID. Then we had
Right.
hyperinflation. I mean, like, damn, dude, these world events are just like, can they stop?
Yeah.
Can they please stop? Can people just get off
Can
Ozempic?
we all
And,
just get along?
yeah,
Right.
get off Ozempic, start eating, put your phone down, hire Greg T where to go,
Seriously, come on, man. Don't forget
and buy a
the little guy.
billboard.
And you know what?
Yeah.
To both your points. So when you have to go to court, right?
Yeah.
You need an attorney.
Mhm.
People who are smarter, they're not just gonna call a random attorney.
Yeah.
You're gonna reach out to the people you know that you respect,
Mhm.
and they're gonna tell you who they used, and then you're gonna look up that company, make sure they're verified, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff go into it, right? If you need real estate, I saw the guys you have on. I know those guys,
Yeah, yeah,
Alex. Right? These are all good guys. These are guys that you refer, so I know they're good guys.
Oh yeah. True.
John, if I want to work with John, it's because you told me that John's a good guy. Like these are all
Right.
important things
Word of mouth.
when you're working with these companies,
Mhm.
but not just word of mouth. Who's the mouth, right? Who's the mouth saying it? And
Loyal.
to me,
Yeah.
buying media or advertising, you're not just gonna Google who's my advertising agency.
Yeah, yeah.
If Jamie says this is my guy for the last 10 years, this is my guy for the last few years doing my digital, then I'm gonna respect it, right?
Right.
And to me, that's the biggest thing. But I just want to say one other thing. So
Yeah.
money related, I know there's probably a lot of people watching your show that are up and coming.
Yeah.
They look up to you as an entrepreneur, right? Who
I hope they
wouldn't?
do.
With where
Yeah.
you came
Yeah.
from,
Mhm.
they're saying like this guy made it, right? And here's the number one question we all get, anybody who's successful: how did you do it? What do you do and how did you do it? Tell me how to do it. Well,
Just do it.
I'm going to give just one slice of advice that I feel like everyone needs to understand. Stop walking around and telling people that you did it all by yourself,
Mhm.
because you didn't.
Mhm.
Okay? The
Yeah.
reality is that we all had somebody that reached down, sent the elevator down, and lifted us up
Oh,
and
yeah.
helped us. Now, be smart enough to know the people who are sending the elevator down
Mhm.
and the people who are just there to hurt you and take from you. The people
Yeah.
who are already on the floor with you, waiting to be set
Yeah.
up. Look at the people that are trying to help you, like Jamie. Jamie is one of those people that continually sends the elevator down. So
Mhm.
anybody that's blown up because of Jamie's connections and referrals, they're not self-made. They have Jamie to thank. They have all the different people that came to them along
Yeah.
the way.
Mhm.
And to me, that's what this show is all about. It's about sending the elevator down for your friends, the people that you know have been loyal to you, and you
Mhm.
saying, hey, here's an opportunity for me to highlight the people that I know are good people.
Yeah.
And how many people do that versus how many people have a podcast where they're just sitting there talking about themselves all day long?
Right.
Oh yeah.
We're not
Mhm.
talking about, and we could, dude, bro. I mean, the reality is we could, but you're sitting here highlighting other people.
Right.
I mean, how cool is that for real?
Mhm.
And that's what I think I appreciate the most
Thank you,
about
man.
this. So thank you
Billboards.
for
And also those
Work, baby.
banners, bro. How many? We got some
the
banners
airplane
going up.
banners.
The airplane is
Yeah.
just a Jersey Shore time, man. Maybe I should get a banner.
Yeah, but
That's
where are
it,
they?
Jersey Shore
wait,
time.
wait, are they running in North or South Jersey?
They're
Because
running at the shore.
there's really only two runs that you can do. It's from LBI down to Atlantic City, LBI up.
I would say LBI Atlantic City South and
Right.
the LBI up is Central.
Yeah.
Now, what does something like that cost?
Depends, dude. On
Well,
the campaign, Greg. It's
Oh.
all.
Give
So,
me-
but-
give me
but
exact
wait, but
number.
This is a really
There
That's
is
what I
no-
want. I want
no,
exact
this
numbers.
Every campaign is different.
This is a
man.
really good question though, because that airplane space is so unmonitored, right?
Yeah.
So you could call 4 different companies. If you're not an agency, they know you have no idea what that thing costs.
Right, we don't know.
They can send any number they want, and they're going to assume you don't want to call a bunch of airplane companies. You're going to go with what they
Yeah,
said.
true.
So
Until
what do you think?
until you find the right guy
Yeah.
who has the right price that's 40% lower than every other guy that's out there selling them. Well, I could tell you right now, it's not cheap, right? It's not like buying a billboard
You're
vinyl.
saying I'm laying on the beach and I'm seeing him pull that thing behind the airplane. That's not cheap.
No,
Come
absolutely
on.
not. Well, it's also what are you running? Are you running those little banners with letters? Or are you running a full-size billboard that says "Eat Clean, Bro"?
I see Geico
Now-
all the time. I see Geico
That's-
everywhere.
Gotta
Geico's
remember
always up
this.
there.
They're always up
If
there.
a-
Geico's there
if
all
a
the time.
billboard vinyl on the highway costs you $1,000 to produce, the airplane vinyl is way different because it has to be aerodynamic. That could be cost $4,000 just for the banner. $4,000.
Get outta here.
Then you're paying an hourly rate, and the hourly rate consists of the guy leaving Atlantic City, flying all the way to LBI, and then flying all the
I
way
never
back
thought
to
of
Atlantic
any
City.
of that.
3 hours minimum, and you're paying an hourly rate. So these guys could charge a lot and make a lot.
Right.
And then you find the guy who we work with that doesn't do that. He's just one guy, runs his own company, and he's happy to do a good deal for people. those are the people you want to work with. So that gives you a little bit of an idea.
It does.
I mean,
yeah.
the reality is an hourly rate on an airplane could be anywhere from $450 an hour to $1,000 an hour.
Right. No, but I didn't think about the aeronydemic.
It matters.
Yeah, I didn't think
You
about
can't
that
put
at
a
all.
billboard on a plane that's not aerodynamic. It's going to weigh you down into the ocean. We don't want that with all the planes
I
coming
love
down.
it.
Too soon? I don't know.
Jeez,
I gotta
man.
tell you,
I'm
I
about
really-
to go on a plane to go to the Kentucky Derby, and Newark has a runway down. I'm like, I don't know.
Dude, I
wanted to go to the Derby.
I just got back from Charleston, and I was
Yeah.
waiting 6 hours in Charleston because they only had two things open.
So they put you on the plane and then they sit you down?
No. We were. They just kept delaying the flight, and then we're like, "What the fuck's going on here?" And they only have 2 tarmacs open right now.
I was in Seattle once. This is inappropriate, but this is going to be me.
Are we
ever-
going to end on this note?
We're going to end
All
up.
right, okay. All right.
Do you remember
Yeah.
the Mentos commercial?
Yes,
So
I was just watching this, the old one.
we got approached by Amazon and we did a quick trip to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
What's really funny about my travels, my first time in Vegas, it rained the whole weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is a desert. My first trip to Seattle, I didn't see one homeless person and the bluest sky ever. All
Wow.
sun. It
No
was great.
rain.
We went to Pike Market, had seafood. It was amazing.
Little Starbucks.
We went to the original Starbucks. Yeah, well,
Well, you said
obviously.
Pike Mountain, so yeah,
Right.
that's what they have there.
Yeah, it was super cool, man. It was really like the Seattle's also the original store from Nordstrom. So the story of Nordstrom was it was a tire place and he was selling shoes. Guy comes in, you rat bastard, you sold me this tire, and he's like, oh my God, sir, I'm so sorry. Let me refund you right away. And then the guy realizes it's like a shoe store, and he's like, are you fucking serious? He's like, yeah, here's your money. We're sorry about the tire. He's like, what kind of shoe? Like, and he never bought shoes anywhere else but at Nordstrom. So that's like, I stole my wife from Nordstrom, and we took that approach at Eat Clean Bro. That's why like the money back guarantee, it comes from Nordstrom. That's where it comes from. But basically, dude, we're getting back on the plane, and there's this guy, dude. He's annihilated. He's like
Yeah.
he's like drunk as hell, and they're like, sir, you can't come on the plane. And he's like, I have a brain injury. And he turns around, dude, looks at me and Kayla and winks like a Mentos commercial. And I'm like, they're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. They upgraded him to first. I'm like, son of a bitch did it. So if you're ever getting carried away at the airport
That's great.
and they're threatening to take you off the plane, just tell them you have a brain injury.
Very nice. Very nice.
Dude, how great was that?
Very nice.
Oh, guess who's on my plane, by the way?
Who?
Oh my God, Stephen Colbert. You know the Colbert Show?
Oh,
cool.
Colbert?
Colbert.
Stephen Colbert?
Colbert. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm sitting there. My wife's like, "Yo, that's Stephen Colbert." I don't watch the show.
No,
I've seen
I
him
don't watch it
before.
either.
I don't know
who
who he
I've
is.
seen
For
him.
some reason, his name.
Talk shows.
He's a late night
Oh.
show.
Yeah, late night.
Late night.
I'm fucking tired, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
or I'm drinking. So
I hear you.
there's one or the other. I had
Well,
a great time with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
Blast,
so
brother.
much.
Thank you.
We're gonna
Dude.
call this thing.
I love it.
you.
I love it.
Thank you all
brother.
so
Thanks
much.
for having us.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. Episode 5 still up and rolling, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Get ready for episode 6. I don't know how we kind of do any better job than this, but hey, we'll be right back with more from our sponsors. Eat Clean Bro. They deliver fresh, healthy, chef-prepared meals right to your door. So whether you're into bodybuilding or weight loss or just trying to eat better without the hassle of cooking, Eat Clean Bro has got a ton of options for you. Gluten-free options, high-protein options, chicken parm with sweet potato mash, buffalo chicken, mac and cheese, turkey meatballs and pasta, teriyaki salmon with jasmine rice, and Eat Clean Bro delivers within 24 hours in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania area. So if you're looking to try it out or you want help picking some meals that match your goals, head over to eatcleanbro.com right now. Eat Clean Bro. That's where to go.
Where to go?
All right, another successful episode, episode 5. I can't wait to see what episode 6 brings. But
Yeah.
for right now, let's do it. Jamie, what is your Bro Show key takeaway?
I think there's just this underlying language of success,
Yep.
which it's like, keep going, don't give up. You're going to have wins, you're going to have losses. It's how you respond. Keep going. I hope like that episode was dense with like a lot of business wisdom and things. Like we covered a lot of ground, but I would say like that is the key takeaway. I mean,
Well, I think I liked it when Sean was talking about, you know, the hockey that he does, right? And that he has to keep on grinding and grinding. He didn't come from money, you know. He started with nothing. Same with John, same exact thing. You know, they both pushed forward so much.
yeah.
And so far, every single episode that we've had, that has been the narrative going forward. Is
Oh,
about
yeah.
pushing forward and being strong and standing up for what you believe in and just not taking no for an answer.
I don't know, like if I feel like I'm constantly repeating, but it seems to be like that is the universal language
It
of
is.
success. You
It
know?
is.
And it's like it's repetitive and
Yeah.
maybe it's cliche, but
gotta fight.
You gotta fight, man. You gotta fight. And that's why I loved having Frankie and Kurt on the first episode, because
You
It's,
know?
well, it's easy to relate to because you could watch them physically fight. You know,
Yes.
they're talking about, yeah, the guy ripped my knee in half or this broke, and those guys are physically fighting. But in life, you'll have, you know, there's people's marriages break, people's financials break, people have like, people get sick and like people lose businesses and like really bad things happen. But like the successful people keep going,
Keep
you
on-
know?
Yep.
And when you watch a Frankie or Kurt fight, you could see, wow, Frankie just got his arm, like Frankie's face is broken, but he keeps fighting. Like it's the same thing in life. It's the same thing in business. Like keep fucking going.
You know, now that I think about it, I can't believe that it's almost it's Kismet the way it happened. So like episode 1 was with the two fighters, with Frankie and with Kurt, and now every single episode has been about fighting. You are so right.
Yeah.
You're so, and we had no idea that was going to happen.
Well,
I had no
it's-
idea.
Well, I'm the architect.
You know what you are. Okay.
Yeah.
On that note, we're gonna close it out.
Yeah, I'm happy to do this podcast because in the unfortunate coming, right, say like this
bro.
is something my kids could listen to. So
100%.
I want to put on a show that someday my kids can listen to and get information and learn, because the internet is vast. It's a lot of people are full of shit. They haven't done anything with their lives and they're out here trying to be a fucking consultant or a life coach, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, tune into the
Very
show.
cool.
I hope you guys love what's going on.
Yeah.
And Greg, I'm happy to be here with you.
Yo, I'm happy to be here with you too, Jimmy,
Yeah,
man.
Hell yeah.
Episode 5 in the books, and episode 6, who knows, man. Let's stay tuned. Next Thursday we'll be here for episode 6. We'll see you then.